Hi guys, and today I'm going to do a review on Rugby Union Team Manager 2017. Now, as many of you may know, rugby is played with a funny shaped ball. It's different to football. Football is largely pain-free, whereas when I remember I played rugby at school, not so much. Yeah. In other words, you'd get pretty beaten up. I mean, you'd take a few cracks and smacks, as John Gotti might say. It's a rough game, it's a man's game, although I can't say that anymore because of PC, bollocks to that. Yeah, so the two codes of rugby are usually union or league, rugby union, rugby league. As to which is best, well, it's a bit like Xbox v PlayStation. I mean, depends on your taste. The reason that I am more accustomed to union is because I live in the south, but my father lived up north, and he only ever played league or watched league because rugby league's very popular up north. So I've kind of got a good insight into both, but for whatever reason I tend to follow the rugby union more and my local team Harlequins. So just purely on familiarity really, I picked this because there's a very similar version for rugby league. I actually think rugby league is better in some ways. It's certainly more fluid, less interruptions, but I do like, a big fat prop forward, so that's Union League for you. So let's talk about this game a little. So interestingly, as you first turn the thing on, there isn't an intro or anything, and the GUI, suddenly you think, oh god, because it looks a little bit dated. It doesn't really look like a 2017 GUI. But as you sort of get into the game, you pick a team, you go pick a database. I think you can have an updated database if you fancy playing up to date 2018. I actually just played the one that the game came with because it's only a year or so, and I kind of wanted to use the knowledge that I've gained from watching. So let's start with the good stuff. So one of the good things about this game is that it has a very hands-on approach to management. In rugby, anyone who follows rugby union will know there are millions of different infringements that can result in penalties, and then there's the likes of line-outs, scrums, and kicking tactically, etc. And rather than leaving the decision making up to one of your players, your captain, etc., you can actually make those decisions yourself, which gives the game a bit more of a hands-on approach than the similar other management games, and is definitely a really good feature. Another good thing about the game is that it tends to reward you if you do the right thing. So if you get your training right, you might want to improve stamina of some players, or you might want a prop forward to be heavier. If you do make the correct changes, you will see it on the pitch. It's not as brutal as the likes of Football Manager. In fact, I often feel like Football Manager will, no matter what you do, it always kind of throws up problems, whereas this game seems to be a lot more honest. And obviously some people might say, oh, it's too easy, but I don't think it is really. I think you're playing a team sort of around your level or below, you often will win, but the big teams are still difficult to beat, and you have to use your tactical nous and the help of your coaches to beat. So the game is kind of similar in Football Manager style to having different shouts you can do from the touchline. The tactical sort of length and breadth of tactical things is not particularly detailed, but it's good that they put it in there anyway. The graphics of the game are pretty simple. As I said, the GUI is nothing to write home about, and it also, I don't know, it's not particularly intuitive. So for instance, on Football Manager, if you get an email in your inbox, you can click on the player name or the club and it'll come up. Whereas on this, you have to actually go to your scouting screen, and any player that you're interested in buying, you have to scout first. You can't search for individual players. Now, this is a bit of an aberration, I'm not going to lie. They do need to improve this. I'm just using one example here, but there are many. Another one I can think of, when, say, you're looking at player profile, you think, alright, I'll send an offer to the club, I fancy, do an offer for that, see if I can get that player. You're like, where's the button? You can't find it. You have to go back into your scouting again, and you highlight the player, and then at the bottom of the screen you can press make an offer. Why not have make an offer on the dedicated player's profile? So yeah, I mean, it's a very small team. I think the team was sort of under 10 people, so it's understandable in a way, but they're not selling this game to troglodytes. The customers have played Football Manager likely, so they really need to work a little bit on that. I give them applause. As I said, it's a good game essentially. The rugby, if you want a rugby union management game, I'm pretty sure this is the best one. There might be one or two other ones. I think EA released one years ago that used their match engine, but that would be well out of date now, and probably not even as good, because this is essentially a good game. It's just the navigation that can be a bit of a pain in the arse. That's being brutally honest there. That said, it obviously doesn't take too much to run. You don't need a Porsche for a PC to run this game. The in-play graphics are quite good. It looks like the pitch might be a bit too short, however it seems to be broken into 4 quarters, and I'm pretty sure there is a middle set they've missed out. If you're going to get a rugby management game, I would definitely recommend this, but I just think it lacks one or two things. It lacks polish overall. And another thing I didn't mention is that there can be a bit of lag at times as well, which there shouldn't be really, but the team who made this game, we're not talking a AAA title here, so you can let them off on that. And they do even have some seemingly endorsed players. I'm pretty sure I saw a guy called Massi who plays for Italy, although for some reason they never referenced him, so they've paid him to appear in the first screen, and they haven't even used his name in the advertising as far as I can see. Bit of an error there perhaps. But yeah, overall, it is what it is. Probably in the future they'll probably release the next one, will probably be a bit better, but it's not terrible. If you want to play a rugby management game, I think look no further. You're definitely better off here than in some crappy flash game or phone app type game. So yeah, hats off to the small development team. Yeah, so let's give a verdict on the game. I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. The 0.5 is because it's a small game made by a handful of programmers, and it actually is a really solid title. I think that with a few extra polishes here and there, this game is a real winner, and it is really the only rugby game that is anything like the football management games. Gets a thumbs up from me, and I guess that's it for now then. Cheers guys, and I will see you again who knows when. Ta-ra, bye.